What's going on, gamers? Here we are back with some more Elden Ring. And what I'll be covering today is all the items in the game that can either make your sorcery spells a little bit faster with their cast time, or to help you with your FP costs. So if you need to make things a little bit easier, cast a little bit faster and lower your FP consumption, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, all things gaming, all things Xbox. Then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest in content, hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay and reviews of upcoming games. But for today, I'm here to show you some items that I think now, since the last patch, version 104, are really starting to come into their own and could be amazing for that late game and new game plus. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth into how you get hold of all of these because I have got them on my channel, so I'll chuck some links up above when I go over the description of some of them, and if I haven't got them, I'll probably be uploading them in the next day or so. But all of their locations can quite easily be found on YouTube if you want to know exactly where they were. I don't want to make the video too long by adding that into this. So first off, we're going to go over the Azure Glintstone Staff. Now, as you can see, this one scales all the way up to S, meaning you get quite a lot of bang for your buck. It's a really nice staff to have, and this one, although it costs intelligence 52 to wield, can definitely work in a lot of sorcery builds. It also only costs 10 strength, so that means you don't have to kind of spec into it too much other than the intelligence, and the main reason you'll be using this is because of this just over here. As you can see, it reduces the casting time of all sorceries, but consumes additional FP. The FP it consumes isn't quite as bad as some of the other staff such as the Lasats, and because of the faster casting, I think it does offset it quite well. Since the latest patch of Elden Ring, there's a lot more build kind of versatility in the game, and you can make a lot of things work, whereas before some spells I was definitely put off of because of just how long they took to cast. However, now a lot of them have had their FP reduced, the casting time is a lot faster, it just means you can work, it just means there's a lot more fun to be had, and more spells at your disposal that you may well want to look at. Next up, and for the headpiece, we're going to be going to the Glintstone Scarab. Now, the main kind of downside to this, as you can see from its stats, all of the damage negation is at a minus, so you will be a little bit squishy if you have this on. But for a mage, if you've got a bit of distance about yourself, or you've got a nice build on and you want that extra kind of FP reduction, this one is second to none. In fact, the only reason I've not really put a build like this together yet is, as you can see here, mainly because of that. Why? I'm really hoping at some point they do put some kind of a transmog system into this, because a lot of the headgear, the best ones, are definitely not also the best looking. They look a bit funky to say the least. Next up, and we've got the Radagon's Icon. This one again is another talisman that helps to reduce the actual casting time. If I click over to this right here, shortens spell casting time. It's a really nice one to have, and I think now more than ever it comes into play a little bit more. If you like PvP, or if you just like casting your spells a little bit faster, this can be an absolute lifesaver. And although it's not ridiculously noticeable, with a few other things in your build and with a bit of dexterity as well if you can manage it, this can actually be really strong in a lot of builds. Now, last but definitely not least, we've got this one right here, the Primal Glintstone Blade. This one reduces the FP consumption of sorceries and incantations at the cost of maximum HP. It does knock down your HP a bit, I'm not going to lie. If I click over to here, as you can see, it takes off just over 200, about 220. So it is a bit of a big chunk, but it can be very fun, especially if you've got a nice little health pool going on. It means you're going to be able to cast an awful lot before you need to potion up, and it can definitely mean the difference between getting a lot of moves out or having to back off and try and potion up and get back into the battle. But now more than ever, let me show you why I think it's definitely worth looking into things such as this. Before, I pretty much spec'd into pure power, pure damage, because that's pretty much the way you're going to go as a mage in most games, but now you can have a lot of fun with things like this with a different kind of playstyle. So hopefully I'm not going to get too smashed. Look how fast the Crystal Barrage actually... Oh, is he going to get me? Look how fast that actually activates now. Before, that took ages. I never ever used this, and now it is just such a good spell. Look how easy that is. It's not that much of an issue. Before, I would probably have got taken down by him just through how long it takes to activate. Also, because of what we add on, it casts faster. So just quickly taking off the items that reduce our FP cost. So it will be the scarab hat. And I've taken off the primal glintstone blade. Now if I just quickly show you the difference, so I won't actually even need to worry about him. Here we have something that I absolutely hated before because of how long it took to cast. Look how fast Renala's cast now. But also, look how many I get off. I got off 2. But it's so fast to cast. They're really actually very good. They're really actually very good spells now, whereas before it was just too slow and got you in trouble in most situations. But if I potion up and just show you casting one of them, I've got 173 FP. And now when I cast it, I've got 107, meaning that it costs 65 FP every single time. Now if I pop back on what I originally had, which is going to give us the reduction in cost, doing the exact same thing and using the same wondrous physic that just gives us a little bit more intellect and a little bit more damage. If I show you on this fella right here, whereas before I could only get off 2, now oh, even though I got hit, as you can see I can get off 4. That's a big old difference before you've got a potion up. Honestly, they're just a lot better to use. And even though this probably isn't the best example because I'm getting smashed about, as you can see you can do a lot with it, whereas before you wouldn't be able to get that many off. They just weren't that good for how long they took to cast. Now with builds like this you can have a lot of fun, you can still do quite a big chunk of damage, but a lot of spells are just more usable because of their cast time and the fact that a lot have reduced FP cost. That one for example, which I probably should have shown, once you've got these on, rather than it taking, I believe it was 66, now when we cast it, it's going to knock our FP down instead to 130 from 173, meaning it only costs 43, which is quite a big difference, allowing us to cast a lot more spells, especially if we've got a nice FP bar going on. But yeah, I think this latest patch has really helped builds out. It's made a lot more things versatile and a lot of fun, meaning you can switch your build up and just have a little play around with different playstyles. Let me know what you guys and girls think in the comments, or what skills and spells you now think are amazing. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox. Take care, I'll see you on next day.